Hi everyone, my name is Rosemary Massaro. I'm Craft with Ro, and I'm so excited to have you join Deb and I for our Merry and Bright Christmas in July virtual. Man, that's a long name, right? Thanks so much for joining us. I'm here to share with you my 4 projects for the add-on class for those that purchased it. If you didn't purchase it, that's fine. You've got some great inspiration that's coming your way. Feel free to use your own stash if you didn't purchase the bundles, but I'll be sharing with you the bundles that we featured in our projects. In addition, I just wanted to give you some kind of like house rules for me, which are, they're not really rules, but you are going to see me refer to my PDF. And throughout this video, feel free to pause at any time, but you may see a pause delay, and that is me switching over from one project to the other project because this is one video. So what's nice about this is that you can craft at your own pace. You can pause, you can rewind, and in all we ask is that you enjoy the inspiration and make sure that you share your projects in the album labeled add-on classes with Ro, add-on classes with Deb. And those that purchase the add-on sampler that's beautifully designed, make sure you are posting your images there that you've created so you can earn tickets to win prizes. So let's get crafting. I'm excited to be with you here today. And again, thank you for joining us. Here are the 2 bundles that we are using this weekend. It is called the Stitch Stocking Bundle, and I love these dies right here. So many cute accent dies that we have going on. And then the pretty poinsettia, which this poinsettia, the dies that are here for this poinsettia are great with the impressions plate. If you have not worked with the impressions plate, I am going to show you how it works. They're really easy. It creates a great 3D effect on all of your projects. So I'm going to put these aside because we will be using them. And you should have received your PDF via email. And again, I will be referencing this throughout our craft classes. You should have received all pre-cut cardstock. You should have received a packet of embellishments. You should have received the Stitch Stocking DSP as well. So let's get crafting. This is my first project that I'm featuring. It is a 12 by 12 page layout that we're going to be recreating. Fun, simple, easy. I will let you know that as we create, for those that purchased the add-on class with me, I did include this poem for you. When I recreate, I'm not going to be adding the poem because this is going to be my coordinating second page layout, and I'll be probably just putting a photo there. If you are interested in receiving the poem, just let me know in the comments below or message me and I'd be happy to email you the poem. So here we go. This is going to be used for reference. See if I can get this to stand up behind me. So the first thing is on your 12 by 12 cardstock. I stitched using our gel pen, which is phenomenal. It's a 0.10 gel pen. And throughout my crafting, I have pre-cut some things and I've started some things just so we are not crafting along on a 3-hour video. So again, you can use a ruler to do your hash marks stitching. I do mine freehand. I want it to look like it is hand done. But as you see, it's a great gel pen. It doesn't skip. It's got some really great fluid that's coming out of it. And that's what I love about our gel pens. So I'm just going to go along this last edge. If you tend to hold your gel pen this way, you may get some skipping. I highly recommend that you hold it pretty much straight up and down. Okay. So next, in preparation, we have embossed with the swirly design embossed folder. I love this. This actually is featured in our Halloween suite, but there's so many different ways, and I thought it was perfect for the holidays. So this is two-tone cardstock. You're going to need some sanding paper, and I do have mine right here. And we're just going to lightly sand over the top of it to get that two-tone look. And I have one more piece. Now, all the measurements are in your PDF. I know that there is one error in your PDF, and when I get to that project, I'll let you know. Not a bad thing. Okay, so nice. I love the way how that just pops out after embossing. So I typically, when working on a layout, I am going to line these up just so I know where everything is going to go. Now, your kits did not include cardstock for photo mats because you're going to be putting pictures on there. But I just cut some cardstock for placement for my photos. And I'll show you a little trick that I do for when I'm ready to put my photos on. Here is going to be I think this is 4 1/4 by 5. This is 4 1/4 by 6. We're going to wrap this. Oops. We're going to wrap this with ribbon. So just getting these placed. They're not perfectly lined up, but now I have a visual. And then we're going to cut our GSP out as well. All right, so you're going to come down about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch from the top. And we can, so my trick is when I am working on page layouts, and I do sell them at my in-person events, but if I'm going to be using them or the customers who purchase it, I only put a little bit of adhesive right in the center of my photo mat so that I can easily take it off. But at the same time, I can also cut my photo down. Again, this is 4 1/4 by 5. So you will have to trim down your photo a little bit on these layouts. So you can also cut it and just cover over the white cardstock. Uh-oh. Not good, maybe. There we go. I thought for sure I jammed it. So again, I'm going to be wrapping this with ribbon, but I'm only going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back. So when I go to put my photo on, it'll easily come off. So we're going to put a little bit of adhesive there, a little bit of adhesive. Why is my thing jamming? There we go. We're just going to line that up. Going to wrap around here. If anybody has any tips and tricks on when that happens, please share with me in the comments. So frustrating, especially when I'm recording, because it doesn't happen all the time. All right, so now I'm just going to put my little bit of adhesive in the center. Going to line that up right there. I love these Christmas color combinations. So when I'm working on a page layout, I typically do the one side first. If I have items that need to be centered, I do those last, because this guarantees me that they will be centered appropriately. So here, we will be putting on the 4 corners that we cut out of our DSP on that one die, and I have that. So on our stitch die right here, you'll be cutting out 4 or 2 of those corners, which is going to create 4 corners for you. And if you want to use the poem that was shared with you, you would attach your poem first and then attach your corners. And because I'm getting frustrated with this adhesive, I'm probably going to switch over to my backup adhesive. Go. Add that to that corner right there. Creates a really nice frame. A little bit of adhesive there. I'm not trying to put a lot of adhesive on my corners, because when I go to put my photo on, I want them to easily come off. But we're going to center that mat right there. And then we are going to line this up to be even with this accent piece right here. Try to come as even over. Now, sometimes I have my grid, my glass mat, or my other mat to line up, but I'm just going to eye this here. Pretty good at lining that stuff up. I do not know why it's pausing for me on like that. So frustrating. All right, then we're going to add our other beautiful accent sanded piece. This I want to line up at the bottom there and evenly underneath our top. And then we're going to put this evenly right there. And now we're ready to put our 3 squares in. And I think these are just double checking, 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then when you cut these images out of your DSP, they fit perfectly in there. We're just going to mat these up. Or layer, depend on which word you want to use. And I'm not putting mine in any particular order. And you can cut out any of your squares with any of the images because our DSP provides so many different images and options for you. Get that lined up evenly. So I think I'm going to go with, see, it seems like if I help it along, then it works. Well, I just lied, right? There we go. Again, I'm going to line this up, but we're going to center it in between two pieces right there, just to give it some central focus. Oops, I did not want that one there. That one is going to be my centerpiece. Again, to get some centered evenness in space, I put the bottom one in next, and then it allows me to evenly space these between each other. I hope that is straight. One of these looks a little crooked. All right, now we're ready to embellish. We're going to add our beautiful, fun little buttons here. And I just took some random, just did them randomly in the center. And obviously you can add more, but I love that they have that little stitching there. There we go. And okay, that is our first project, guys. Right? So now, what's nice about this, get rid of that, is I have a great double page layout for me to document my first memories of the holiday season. So I'm going to put it on pause and I'm going to get ready for our next projects, which we're going to be creating the stocking, the little gift tag. So fun, so easy. Okay, I'm back. And we're going to create this cute little gift tag. Now, obviously, you can make a lot of gift tags with this collection. Another option is to create this gift tag and place it right on an embossed card base. So easy to recreate. And then I put on the back of here to and from because we all need gift tags for the holiday season. So the first thing that I did was I die cut our large stocking. And then I made a mistake actually because I cut it out of our two-tone real red cardstock. And I'm like, well, I don't want to waste this paper now that I cut it. So then I took our quilted stocking and I die cut it right in the center of that. But isn't that cool? I just thought that's cool. I'm definitely going to reuse that and decorate the inside of that stocking. But here we have our base of our stocking we are going to stamp the back of it to and from. And I just realized I forgot my black ink, so I'm going to go run it behind me and grab it. Well, I just realized that I have my hybrid ink in with my making takes for my in-person event. So we're just going to use my momentum that I still have left. We're going to ink that up. We're just going to stamp that on the back here. Oh no. I hate when I do that. But anyways, we will fix that after. So important to keep this carrier sheet on there or it ends up sticking to your detail sheet. All right, then we have, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys. Then we're going to add our die cut quilted stocking. I'm going to attach that right there. I'm going to center that right in the middle of that stocking. And then you can do this either way. You received the striped shimmer as extra pieces in your kits, but you can die cut using this piece right here, or you can just add the strip on top and then trim around it. I die cut around. I did use the die cut. Well, I'm going to tell you, I used the die cut on here, but I didn't use the die cut on here because you can see no stitching. So we're going to add that right here. I'm going to leave a little bit of white border there. Again, you're going to cut out one of those perfect squares in our quilted stitch DSP. Line that up right there. And so, and you're going to need a hole puncher. And we're going to hole punch this corner right here. So we can add our ribbon. There we go. Get that ribbon straight. Isn't this ribbon pretty? I love the stitching on here as well. It goes so well with this collection. Just going to knot this up. Oops. Oh, that didn't work out very well. There we go. And there we go. Oh, we got to put our little embellishment on. Can't forget that. That's what makes the whole thing beautiful. There we go. So now we got our cute gift tags for all our packages for the holiday season. I'm going to put it on pause again, and we're going to get ready for a really fun fold card. Be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. And it was less than a minute. So here we're going to make this really fun gatefold card. We're going to do some embossing on here as well. And I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful poinsettia using our impressions plate. We're going to die cut and do the impressions for you right on this video. So first things first is you're going to have an 8.5 by 5 piece of cardstock. I am definitely referencing my assembly guide here. And you're going to fold that in half or score it at 4 1/4. I'm just going to fold this in half. And then we're going to score at 2 1/8. So now we're going to take this in here. Now, I know a lot of people say I score backwards with my trimmer. It's just something I'm more comfortable with. So, make sure I'm not cutting it and I am scoring it. Perfect. Okay, so this is going to get folded back. We're going to set it up this way right here. The first pieces that we can put together is this is what I took, the snowflakes that come in this piece in our stitch stocking die. So we're taking the snowflake die, comes like right here, or starburst die, and I placed that approximately a 1/2 inch from the top, and then a 1/2 inch on the bottom on my die cutting machine. So here we're going to just take the strip, the shimmering stripe strip, silver stripes strip, and we are going to attach that to our front fold. And then we're going to attach our DSP snowflake. I actually love this because I honestly am not a traditional color kind of Christmas girl. Right, so now we have our front piece already coordinated, and we can decorate the inside before we get to creating our embossing and our impressions. You're going to take this other piece. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to layer that on the inside right there. And our centerpiece, which I believe this is 2, let's see what it says here. It's not popping out at me. I think this is 2 by 5 1/4. I know it's definitely 5 1/4. And that is going to go right in the center there. All right. So that's how this is folding. And let's do our embossing first. So I'm taking the stamp set from our stitched die stamp. the snowflake one. And we are going to use Versamark and decorate our inside piece that's going to get folded. And so before we do all the scoring, we want to make sure that we're randomly stamping. And I have my Versamark and I have my silver embossing folder or powder. And I'm risking this. I should have, and it, you should be using your embossing buddy to make sure you don't get extra static. Now, it is hard to see that I am not overlapping or making sure that I get all the spots on here. My lighting at this table is not the best. But I still think it'll come out pretty good, even if I've overlapped some of them. Okay. I think I did a pretty good job, surprisingly. But we will tell in just seconds. All right. So I'm just going to grab my spoon. Just a little bit of overlapping, not bad, right? All right. I always blow on it to get the excess off. Fold this up right here. Get that excess back in there. One thing I love about embossing powder, it lasts forever. All right, we're going to take my heat gun. And we're going to watch the magic happen. Oops. So are you guys wet embossing people? Do you like to heat emboss? I love it. And if you're new to it, I'm sure we got some very experienced people here. But if you are new to it, you always want to make sure that you keep your heating gun in a rotating fashion so you're not burning your cardstock or the embossing powder for that matter. But I don't know if you guys can see, it is getting very silvery. And I'm just going to flip this over so I'm not burning my fingers. See that magic happening? Now for me, when I wet emboss, I have a tendency to miss the edges. So I usually go all the way around the edges, make sure that I'm getting those pieces right on the edge. If you're having a struggle and it's not embossing well, you can always go to the back and place your heat right against the back there. Okay, so now we have to score this. Oops. And what are my measurements for scoring? We're going to take we're going to score at 3 5/8 and 1 7/8. So 3 5/8, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Just double check. 3 5/8. And I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go to 1 7/8. Yep. We're going to do the same on our secret C, but we're going to score this at 3 3/4 and 1 7/8. So I'm not sure if I messed that up or not. If that's a typo, we're going to find out soon enough. All right, 1 7/8. And 3 3/4. I'm going to flip. I'm going to line this up so that our score lines virtually match. I'm going to have this as I think I did slightly mess up, but we'll see. It'll end up folding though together. Give it a nice good score and fold. Nice good score and fold. Burnishing it very well. We're going to have this go here, right in the center of those two snowflakes. And then this will go here. Have that folded wrong. And then this is going to go right there. Perfect. Okay, so now we have a little bit more to add, but what I do when I'm adding my A-fold is I'm going to center this right here. Fold this in so that I know where to put my adhesive. You only want to put it on the edge here. And we're going to fold that down and have that come over just like that. Whoops. That didn't stay. There we go. And now I have to decorate this piece. And I'm missing that piece. Thought I die cut it or cut that little square out. But in the meantime, let's do our dies. So we're going to die cut these. Oh, there it is. See? We'll get back to embossing that. All right, so you've got a nice strip here, and you're going to take your dies from your pretty poinsettia, and we're going to die cut these. And what's nice about this, even though we have to run them through the machine twice, you can actually do it all in 2 steps. You don't have to do these dies individually. So I am going to line these up very easily. We're going to place all of our dies right on this strip. They're all going to fit on here very easily. And we have my little one right there. I want to make sure that that is going to get die cut. There we go. Put a top layer on. Make sure that we're sandwiching it. Just run that through your machine. Okay, so we're not done with this guy yet, but I want to share with you that you want to make sure that these stay in their die. If they're not, they're easily able to reposition in there. And we will get that one repositioned. There you go. That one. We have that one. Not sure if you guys can see them. Oh, that guy does not want to stay in there. And we have that one. So we are done with that piece, but now what we want to do is take your two sandwiches, your die cutting sandwiches. You don't need them. We're going to put them aside. You're going to take your base plate and your number 2 plate. We're going to get this back in camera mode, right? And what we're going to do is take all of these at the same time and place them upside down on your number 2 plate. And you can do this all at once. So it's not a laborious type of thing where you have to do each one separately. You can die cut them all at the same time. You could, now we can do the impressions at the same time. And you're going to take your black impressions plate. I don't know why they call it a plate because it's really a mat, right? And you can tell that this has been very well loved. And this is going to go directly over the top of your poinsettias. It's so easy. Then you're going to take your gray embossing folder. We're going to put that on top. And we're going to run that through. And move that out of my way. And move this out of my way. And look at these pretty 3D flowers. And they got that little bit of glitter to it. That's what I love about this paper. All right. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the dies. Set those aside to make sure I don't lose them. Get our mats out of the way. All right, now we can create putting our little poinsettia together. And what I use, which I think is extremely easy to use, is these little glue dots that come in your card kits. So our first one is going to get put down, which is I'm going to use the larger one with a mini dimensional. I cannot find my tweezers, guys, and that's really frustrating me. All right, so this is going to go, never know which way to position it, but we're going to go that way. And then I'm going to take, oops. That is our bottom piece right here. Okay, and then take my little glue dot. Now we can place that, something like that. Take our next size piece, and that's going to go right towards the center. I just make sure that some of these bigger gaps get covered in up as I'm layering them. And then our last piece here. And what's nice about this, if you want your poinsettia to be, have more layers, you can add that larger piece easily to create additional layer on there. Come on, baby. There we go. All right. So our last step on this card is we need to emboss this. So I'm going to grab my embossing buddy on here. And this is a dark piece of cardstock, so I just really want to go light because the powder will discolor it. But I'm going to give you a secret on how to get rid of that if it still stays that powdery look type of thing. And on here we are using our, I guess I put on here, whoops, 'Tis the Season, but we can do Merry Christmas to You and Yours on the from the stitch stocking. I used 'Tis the Season from the Pretty Poinsettia. That's what I love about these two bundles, because they have so many sentiment options. All right. And I'm going to grab our Versamark again. It's going to fit perfectly in the side square. You could put it at an angle like this as well. And if you do have these bundles, or even what you have in your own stash, you can put any sentiment you want on the inside of here. All right, so we're just gonna add our embossing powder. Move that aside. Grab our heat gun again. See if we can see the magic happen together. There it goes. See, and if I had my tweezers, I wouldn't be burning my fingers. Okay, so if you still have that powder left over and you don't want it, give it another rub after you do the heat boss. But if that still isn't working, especially like when you're working with black cardstock, just lightly moist a paper towel or Kleenex and just lightly dab over it. That water will dry off and it'll clean it right off. That's my tip, my secret for you guys. All right, so now we're just going to add this into the center box right here. And I adhered it wrong because I did my scoring wrong. But you know what? We can easily trim this down. And I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to take like 1/8 of an inch off here. And there we go. So I'm pretty sure what I did was I cut this piece wrong because everything else is fitting perfect. Now we just need to add our embellishments. And I know you guys did not get these included. Feel free to add your white buttons on as a replacement, but I'm going to take our little rhinestones because I thought that they were perfect for this. And let me see if I can use my scissors for these. I'm going to add that right in the center there. Add another one right there. Add another one right there. And then, oops, that got all combobulated. And then if you want, you can, I'm going to take this off because we should have actually put that centerpiece on way before I did. The joys of going live and recreating stuff that you created weeks and weeks and weeks ago. So I am putting the 3 more little gemstones, rhinestones right here. All right, we're going to line that up again to be right there. Oh. And there we go. A beautiful card, poinsettia with our silver embossing. It is so, so pretty. You know what I love doing about Christmas in July too? Is that I get such a head start on my Christmas cards. So I am going to put this on pause and we're going to come back to create another fun fold card. Be right back. Okay, guys, we're back with our final project. Thanks for hanging out with me. And again, make sure you pause, rewind, do whatever you need to do. But our next card is a double gated fun fold card. Here is the image here. This is where I made a cutting error, but not paper that you've received. It's the number of paper. So in your supplies list you have on top, and then in your measurements right here, this is my old document, so you do not need the 2 1/8 by 7.5 old olive, but you will need 4 of the 2 by 5 1/8 holly DSP. And I'll point that out when we get to you, but I just wanted to reference that up front. Here is the double gated fun fold card that we have. It is going to go. Why is that giving me a hard time? Oh, I know. It came apart on me, and I'm going to share with you a tip and trick when we adhere this. I just use regular adhesive, and I am going to highly recommend you And I think I have that in the directions tear and tape. It's a little bit stronger. Here is my very first card that I created. And as you can see, guys, I didn't even finish decorating it. But I wanted to share out of my, this was so easy to do. And but I cut out the squares from the one DSP sheet, and it was a perfect fit to go on this sheet here. And I'm like, well, gosh, that's kind of a little easier. Let's give it a little bit more depth. Let's give it a little bit more dimension. So that's where I cut out using those other dies, our Christmas dies and our gift wrap die. And then we cut out a little bit of holly is where you're going to need some scrap garden green paper here. But let me show you how easy this is to recreate this card. Okay, so we're going to do some scoring here. And this piece is 9.5 by 5.5. And we are going to score at a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to bring this. I guess I'll go from the top here so you guys can see. All right. Maybe I should narrow down just a little bit. All right. So we got a 1/2 inch. Right. Then we are going to score at 2 5/8. I should have actually started this way. All right. So we got a 1/2 inch and then 2 5/8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. 7 7/8. All right, guys, I got to go to the bottom now here. 7 7/8. And 9 inches. That's going to be that other 1/2 inch right there. For some reason, I feel like this is not at a 1/2 inch because I did it at a 1/4 inch. We'll just fix that right there. So we're going to fold these and burnish these really well. I don't know why I'm not using my bone folder, but my nails seem to work really, really well. All right, so this is not looking right. So what did I do wrong? We're going to dissect this, guys, and we're going to get this right for you right here because I am not re-recording this whole thing. So, actually, I'm going to dissect this one. All right, so we've got, let's do this right, a 1/2 inch, and we have 1, 2, 3, right? So we got 2, so we got 2 1/8. 2 5/8. Uh, 6 7/8 and 9. So see if we can make this work with extra score lines. So I said 6 7/8. And I typed on the instructions, my apology, 7 7/8. So let's see if this is going to work. Six and 7/8. Much better. All right, so we're just going to ignore that score line. And I apologize, guys. Until you start recreating, when you're cutting your cardstock, you don't really know if there is going to be an error in your types as you're recreating. And it's strictly a typo. All right, so here we can start decorating the inside and outside of our card. I have touched base with a bunch. I pre-cut a bunch of pieces for this card. And this is where I told you you're going to need 2 of these pieces of 2 by 5 1/8, but you really need 4 pieces of 2 and 5 1/8. We're going to cover up that score line right there. My big boo-boo. And then we're going to add 2 more right here on the outside. Now, this is not really required. As you can see, I did not do it on my protege card, but I thought it did kind of finish it off very nicely. Okay. So we have this card to close just like this, right? Now we need to work on our center piece. And I'm just going to double check before I score this that I got these score marks correct. And I'm pretty sure I did. It's 2, 4, 6, and 8. Move this aside. So let's score. Got 2, 4, 6, and 8, but that's going to be 2 on this side. All right. So we're going to be folding mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And these are going to go, before we decorate them, just like that on the inside of that card. So again, you can decorate this any way you want. I created mats. And then I die cut using these really fun dies. And what's nice about it is that they have like a little scored line there that you can create them to pop as well. So I am taking the red pattern to DSP that I used here, and I am attaching it and layering it on the green. And there's just like 1/8 of an inch. You can obviously make these pieces bigger. I chose not to. I wanted a bigger border around my scored piece. And we got then a Christmas tree. We're going to do that, layer that on the red. Oops. And right there. And then these are all going to go on the inside in each section. So because I'm pre-recording this, I will end up fixing my errors and sending those that purchased the add-on class for me the corrected PDF. And again, my apologies for making my silly errors. All right, and before we put adhere it to our base, we're going to do some stamping here. And here I chose to put a Merry Christmas to you and yours. And I'm going to open up my, grab my stamp set. We're going to use Garden Green. And I am going to be stamping this at an angle so that I can get my cute little holly that comes from the pretty poinsettia stamp set. And grab my liquid glue. I know everybody has their favorites, but my favorite is actually dry. Oh, this is going to clog on me. One of the reasons why I'm not a big liquid glue person. Let me grab my pen. So I love this little piece, and it is available on our website. And I'm just going to stick that right through, pull it out, and voila. And those that follow me, you know I would normally be using my tweezers, right? Just gonna add that there. What's your favorite adhesive? I definitely am more of a dry adhesive kind of gal. Okay. Go right there. Because I'm usually too messy with liquid, but I actually did pretty good there. And we're going to take our little button, add that right in the center, and then we're going to attach that right to the center here. Okay, so here's where I said I think the liquid, the tear and tape is a lot better to use. So we are going to glue this right to the center first. That's going to be our first section. And this I'm okay with not putting tear and tape on. This one stays right in place. We're going to line that up right in the center. You know, you have some more options here. You could put a piece of basic white DS cardstock right here. I chose not to in your kits, and I did not cut in advance, you do have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of cardstock that goes right in the back here. And you're going to, you know what? I think I have it right here. I saw it. I'm like, what is this for? Well, I did have it, and it got buried. But so we're just going to cut a piece here. It's going to be 4 and 5 1/4. And this is going to be where we're going to put the greeting on in the back of the card. But, well, we might as well do that right now. So we're going to stamp that, sending warm wishes this Christmas. Again, I'm using my garden green. You can choose any of the sentiments that you want. Add this back. I'm not going to be stamping it crooked. I'm just putting it diagonal on my block. And that is going to go right there. Gives me an opportunity to sign it. And obviously not leave a little blemish there. Actually, thank goodness for two-sided cardstock, right? We'll fix that. Make sure I clean off any excess so I don't happen again. I'm going to add. I keep it real, guys. I will by far say that I am a perfectionist, but I am not perfect. I'm just going to add that to the back. We don't want any more ink error, so we'll put that away. So now you have attached your centerpiece, right? These are going to go and fold in like that. So my suggestion is to lay this flat just like this, and then add your tear and tape. So we're going to add the tear and tape, a small piece right here, right? And then a small piece right here where we know it's going to lay flat. There we go. That's going to go there. I always rub my tear and tape because I feel like it peels off a lot easier when I do, right? So now we have that. We're going to line that up. That's going to come over that way. And we have, oh, see, I lied. But it typically does work better that way. There we go. And you guys should have a little bit of, you should use your ribbon. And I did cut a ribbon. I did create my cute little bow, right? And we're going to put that right on top of my tree. Again, I'm going to use one of my little glue dots. So miss my tweezers. I'm definitely going on a hunt for those. And that is going to go right there. Right? There we go, guys. Easy. And definitely make sure you get that sealed really well right there. Otherwise, see how this keeps popping off on this one? I mean, it's easy to fix, but you don't want it to happen to the recipient who is receiving it. So, see this, clear this mess off here. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. Appreciate your patience with my little faux pas that happened there, but enjoy the rest of the virtual. Don't forget to post your creations, and we can't wait to see what you've created for us. Have a great, great rest of your day. Happy crafting.